Okay, this is going to seem elementary to Dean and maybe some of our other followers, but you'd be surprised by how many people ask this. What is equity in a home?
Okay. You buy a house for 100,000. You put 20,000 down, and you borrow. No, let's whatever. You put 20,000 down. You borrow 80,000. How much equity do you have?
20,000. How much of the home you own?
Okay, you buy.
Plus,
What is your skin? How much is your money in the home? 5 years later, the home's worth 150 grand, right? And you owe still 80 grand. Let's say you have an interest-only loan, right?
70,000.
How much equity do you have now? 70 grand. So the equity is what you owe. It's what your ownership, your equity in the home is.
and I think some people that were commenting this didn't see the value in equity. How can you use that to your advantage?
Okay,
I know this sounds silly, but
Yes, it
people
is.
really asked.
goes to the video I just talked about earlier on.
Yes.
Duh.
Be nice.
No, I mean it's like
I know.
Okay. Real estate is a finite asset. I'm being very, very general. Right? There's some real estate that will deteriorate, right? But the key thing is like if you put money in your home, if you're paying to live somewhere, rent or a mortgage, right? Now, if you're paying a mortgage, your home more than likely historically will appreciate, right? So it serves as a store of value. And the typical American story here is what? Is a piggy bank. You see reverse mortgages, people sell their home and they retire, and where they move to Florida or they get a reverse mortgage because they built that equity up
They pull the money
all these years, and then they use it as a retirement. Whether you do that or not, look at the properties. This property, the others, worth a lot more now, right? Why wouldn't you pay a mortgage? Why wouldn't you? Then rent. To me, it's dual purpose. It pays for your dwelling, right? You're paying for your dwelling, right? And also at the same time, it appreciates. It's like an account that every time you pay into it, you pay in the equity into it, it appreciates, right? Now, of course, there are exceptions to that, right? Like you go, by the Keys in Florida and a flood and hurricane comes, your house is destroyed. Yeah, I get that. But I'm talking about in general.
Someone said something that I thought was interesting, that renter's insurance is cheaper than homeowner's insurance. And
Yeah,
it
but
made
what
me
do you get for renter's insurance?
No,
That's a
but-
ridiculous argument.
But whoever owns your property is paying homeowner's insurance or property insurance on that property,
Property tax.
and is passing off that expense to the renter. So it's already built into the rent that you're paying.
Well, that's a very good. Well, look at my rental property,
Yes.
right? I clear X amount of dollars every month, and it covers everything. The rent. Okay, so great. It's a great thing that my tenants cover my expenses, my mortgage payment, principal and interest, right? My property taxes and my insurance for the property, all covered. But that's not even that's not the point of it. Every month, my tenant is paying the principal down on my mortgages. My tenants are paying that down.
And you're building equity.
It's their money building my equity. Why would you rent if you can avoid it? Why would you rent? I don't understand that. Real estate is a finite asset. You can't make any more of it. There's only so much land available in this world, relatively. That's the way I look at it. Why is real estate by the beach so expensive? Because it's finite. There's no more land there by that area, right? So why wouldn't you own? Why would you pay rent? There's other circumstances that maybe rent makes sense. Like I have friends right now who rent, but own like a portfolio of investment properties. That's completely fine to rent. You're building equity in all your real estate that you own. But if you do not own any real estate and you're just renting, I get it. Affordability is definitely an issue. But if you have the capacity and the capability to do it, I would always default do it. Ask any homeowner. Again, I'm generalizing, but I would say the majority, north of 98% of homeowners out there that own homes 10 years ago, ask them if they regretted buying their home. Ask them. See what the answers are.